Alrighty, everybody, welcome back again today for to our Elite Raceway channel. We are here with our Monday no assist division here in Portugal, and 20 drivers on the in the grid today. So we do have Joe Beef joining in a few seconds. I believe he had a bit of trouble joining into the session, but he should be here in a few. But we are excited for this race. It is raining. It is pouring on this track today. My goodness, I'm curious to know if it's going to be like this for the race actually, because we've been having quite a dry weekend here on in tiers 1 and 2. But yeah, so we do have a couple of drivers already on the track. I believe that is Chernobyl starting his lap at the moment, and Frozen as well. We'll keep an eye on both of them. But Frozen going a little bit off track right there. He did say he didn't really prepare much for the race, but knowing his pace and his consistency in certain tracks, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually manages a pole position. But we do have quite a few drivers reserving. We have PO2 Fosina. Welcome back to our Monday group. I know he's looking like he's a little bit out of practice, but it is raining, it is pouring, so I mean, who can blame him? Um, but we are extremely happy to have him back into the Nana races. But we also have Andy, who actually had his first race last time in Monza 2 weeks ago, before our break. Had a phenomenal race actually, and so we are looking forward to seeing what he's able to do again, which is why he was selected in the reserves. Let's see. We also have Escargo reserving as well. And it looks like Joe Beef is having a bit of trouble joining into the session. Frozen putting in a 128.9. Yeah, so it looks like he is, Joe Beef is having a bit of trouble joining into the session. Hopefully he is, but we do have reserves on standby to hopefully. Um, Let me see if I can get him in. All right, I'll see what he says then. But yeah, so only three drivers who have put in a time. Frozen 128.9, Provisional Pole, Mamu 132.0, Nando Lizard 132.0 as well. Very close times between him and Mamu. So not an easy track, and not an easy track in the rain either. So I did mention before in tier 2. So this track, 4.653 kilometers, 4. Actually, I don't know what that is in meters. I take that back. Corners, it's 15 corners in total, 9 to the right, 6 to the left. Uh, I did mention earlier that this is kind of like, as Lando Norris likes to say, a roller coaster of a track, up and down, a bunch of hills. Kelman putting in a 130.4. And so it looks like Joe Beef is able to join in. So here's hoping he can stay into the session, which is why I've been going quite a little bit, just making sure on the Discord chat he's able to join. Uh, GK1 at 128.8. So pretty close time from Frozen actually. And so we will also go over the standings. So for the Drivers' Championship, we do have our leader B Thumb with a total of 339 points. Unfortunately, not here today. And right behind him, we do have MK7 Hitch with a total of 254 points. So that is a gap of 85 points between those two drivers. And as I say, this Kema going up to P6 of 130.5. And speaking of Kema, he's actually third in the Drivers' Championship, 245 points. So 9 points from MK7 Hitch. Ooh, a little bit of a... Had to catch the car right there. Nicely done. And so regarding the Constructors Championship, we do have the Racing Bulls of Betham and Nando Lizard with a total of 389 points, and the Alpines in second with a total of 310 points, so a gap of 79 points. The Alpines, I believe both teams actually have only one full-time driver representing them, so that is MK7 Hitch in the Alpine and Nando Lizard in the V-Carb. And 50 doing well to put himself into P3 at 129.4. And there is a bit of yellow flags, but that is the Haas, I believe, getting out of the way of the drivers behind. And so yes, Joe Beef is able to join into the session, luckily. So PO2 actually we're doing quite well on his first race back with us into P7 at the moment, 130.5. And we do have Chernobyl crossing the line, puts himself up into P12, 131.8. And T. George, well, actually, a couple of drivers crossing the line. PO2 actually improving on his time. T. George as well. And Kelman with a 128.7. So it looks like the track is actually drying out a bit. Yeah, and as I say that, a few drivers are actually on the intermediate, so it was pouring earlier. So we will take a look at Frozen to see if those intermediates are probably the best tires to qualify on now. Yeah, so there is a dry line, so he should be able to improve on his time now. Ooh, taking that a little bit wide. So turn one is quite tricky, and especially in no assist environment. I mean, they have to be really, really accurate on that corner. And here in turn 5, they're gonna have to brake really hard and hopefully not outbrake themselves. Ooh, Frozen. As I say that, Frozen going a little bit wide. MK7 Hitch at 128.7. And on the wet compounds, Frozen looks like those intermediates aren't really doing much for him. Invalidates his lap. So I'm curious to see if Frozen is actually going to try another lap again. Looks like he is. So we'll keep an eye on him. So he did make a little bit of a mistake on the last lap. Slows down a little bit right there, but it had gotten onto the curve a little bit too much, but taking this corner very nicely. Has to be super careful up the hill, as we have seen throughout the weekend quite a few drivers actually losing the car a bit in that section of the track. Frozen is actually up 8 tenths off his time. And it looks like MK7 Hitch actually improved on his with a 127.8. So still remaining on provisional pole at the moment. Oh, I actually thought he was going to invalidate there, but does well to keep it still on the track. A purple second sector. So he's actually up by a second, so he might actually take MK7 Hitch's provisional pole at the moment. Very cautious on this last corner right here. A little bit too much on the wet side of the track. GK1 a 127.5, and Frozen is going to cross the line with a 126.3. So a second faster than GK1 and the others. And we do have only 2 drivers who have yet to put in a lap at the moment. That is Joe Beef and Social. So I am curious if anybody's in the pits and listening in, if you could let me know how the weather is going to be for the race. That would be nice to know. I honestly, I would like a wet race actually. But we do have Social putting in his time, and looks like that is going to be a 1:21:30.4. That puts him up to P4 at the moment. And Joe Beef actually just set his time as well, 1:33.7. So still room for improvement. I know he is still learning the no racing line, but just a little practice, and you'll get more experience into the for the races. And we have a few drivers who were out on their hot lap. Looks like Nando Lizer invalidated. 50 actually improving and manages to put himself into the second row, P3 at the moment, 127.5. And we do have quite a few drivers on their out lap. Escargo is actually starting his. And is actually up by 4 tenths, so that can actually put him up into the top 10. Goes a little bit wide there. And a little bit wiggly too with the with the wet track. So top 2 are actually on their out lap at the moment. Looks like they've just exited out of the pits. Scargo in sector 3, looking to finish up his lap, and I believe that was a V-carb getting out of the way. So great awareness from some of the drivers. And actually, no, it looks like he wasn't on his lap. It looks like he's actually going to start it, but he's still improved. A 128.5. So it looks like the track is drying out. The intermediates are probably the way to go. 50 is actually qualifying again on the wet tires, and I don't know if that's a glitch, but it looks like he's actually down 5 tenths off his time. Oh, and we also do have Mini Tony crossing the line, putting himself into P11, 129.6. The guy who was messaging me saying he wasn't confident on this track puts himself in halfway into the grid. And looks like 50 is going to back out of that lap. I don't think the wet tires are probably going to be doing much for them. Rosen is actually starting his time at the moment. So it looks like it took him just a few laps to really get used to that turn one there. He took that really well. Does have a bit of traffic up ahead. I believe that is, yeah, they're getting out the way. So again, great awareness from the drivers. So it looks like looks like everybody's on their lap at the moment. So Frozen in sector 3 looking to finish his lap, and they're Kemma actually putting himself in P2 at 126.7. So he puts a few drivers into 126s. T George at 126.9 up to P3. MK7 Hitch improved enough to get provisional pole for a second, probably half a millisecond. But Frozen taking that away at 125.0, MK7 Hitch at 126.2. So we do have quite a few drivers improving on their time. 50 is actually up by 0.2, it looks like. Oh, losing the car a little bit, and I don't know if that's going to affect him. We'll take a look at what time he's able to put in, but that, if he's not able to improve, it was probably because of that. But he is going to cross the line a 120.0. So it looks like he slowed down. He knew he wasn't going to improve. Focina PO2 up to P6 on 127.2. Still have a couple of drivers still about to cross the line. And a couple of changes happening at the same time. Yuppie up to P8 at 127.2. It looks like some drivers are just going to be going back into the pits. I believe our Manson is our only driver who is wrapping up his time, and actually probably not. Looks like he was out of battery there. And it looks like that is our grid. So they are just putting some of the cars back into the track. And and Mamu saying that the whole grid is just a McLaren sandwich, so a bunch of of ingredients in there. I like that. Alrighty. Alright, so our grid is Frozen on pole position with a 125.0 phenomenal lap. Followed next to him in row 1 is MK7 Hitch, our leader, or our second, actually, no, not leader, but our second in the Drivers' Championship. In third, we have Kemma, followed by T. George, 50, Kelman, PO2, Yuppie, GK1, Nando Lizard, Mamu, Escargo, Andy, Ricky Stanicki, Social, Mini Tony, Armanson, Relativity, Chernobyl, and Joe Beef. So that is our grid for today. So it should be a really interesting race. Nobody has told me if it's going to be a dry or wet race. It is looking actually quite cloudy, so I am going to assume possibly, hopefully, I don't want to put them into undesirable conditions, but maybe a wet to or dry to wet race, hopefully, would be interesting to see. But they do have, if they're following the rules, they do have a couple minutes before they actually start the race, start the timer. This is just to make sure they are prepared with their strategies. It is 33 laps around the Portugal track. Uh, and also mentally, you kind of want a little bit of a break between qualifying and to actually get ready for the race. Uh, so yeah, so they'll have a few minutes, and I'm still laughing at the McLaren sandwich. That is very accurate, actually. I wonder if it'll end the same way. Hopefully not on Joe Beef's part, nor at Frozen's. So for this group, we actually don't have formation lap on, so they will be going straight into the race. Um, so hopefully everybody is prepared, and as I like to always say, just a reminder to please be careful. Um, we did see a bit of bumping in tier two, so let's try to avoid that in this group. All right, so they do have the go. They have a couple seconds, those 30 seconds of the timer going down. And like I said, just remember to leave the space, respect each other on the track. Of course, incidents happen, and of course, this is no assist. Even a little lockup is going to is or can cause a bit of chaos, but they are still talented drivers, so we are looking forward to see that race start. Alrighty, so lights are get these set up. Lights are off, and is MK7 Hitch going to get the run on Frozen? Looks like Kema actually had a better advantage. MK7 Hitch losing 2 positions there. And T. George having a phenomenal start, getting past MK7 Hitch. Kema as well. So those phenomenal moves. Down in the back, we do have a couple position changes as well. That is Nando Lizard. Looks like he did have a bit of a scruffle there. Social looking to make a move on the inside. And a little bit of a bump with Mamu. Still no, looks like no damage. That is a car in the front. That is 50. Doesn't look like he has any damage, but is dropping down all the way down the grid. Closest battle I see here is GK1 on the back of Fosina, PO2. Oh, PO2 almost losing the car a little bit right there. And is GK1 going to make the move on the inside? He is. Great move by GK1 right there. And it looks like PO2 is still fighting it out, and he is going to back out and stop right behind GK1. So Frozen doing an amazing job to stay ahead, and not much of a large gap from P2. And that is Nando Lizard losing multiple positions. Looks like no damage, but yeah, not exactly sure if there was contact or just a mistake from his part. So really nice first lap, I will have to say from these guys. Definitely showing that they know the track. So regarding the strategies, so top four are actually running on the soft tires at the moment. MK7 Hitch opting for the mediums. GK1 on the softs, Yuppie, Mamu, Escargot, Relativity, Ricky Stanicki, and Nando Lizard on the softs as well. Joe Beef is actually the only driver on the hard tires. So we did see in Tier 2 that did benefit Alex starting on the hards and going for the mediums afterwards, but we'll have to look at this grid. This is a fast group, and that is MK7 Hitch looking to make the pass on Kelman, GK1 as well. So easy passes done on the DRS straight. Andy moving up to P10, having gotten past Escargo. I believe he's had quite a bit of a climb up positions. Well, 3 positions. Relativity up 6 positions. GK1 up 4 positions. So those are our top highest position changes. So he does have Escargo and Relativity both right behind him. GK1 up ahead on the back of MK7 Hitch. Kema doing really well to stay within the DRS of Frozen. So DRS was enabled last lap. So we will be seeing, well, with how close the majority of the grid is, if you could take a look at the track map, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a really long DRS train. It looks like T. George is going to be losing quite a few positions here. MK7 Hitch getting past, GK1 getting past as well with the help of the DRS. And GK1 actually going wide. Oh, we have a bit of position changes as well in the back. Escargo getting back into P10 and getting past Andy. So it's a little bit of a switch around between these two drivers. 50 getting past Social as well. And that is the kick sour of Relativity, losing multiple positions. R. Manson as well, and Ricky Stanicki now picking up a 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Not exactly sure what happened there. Yeah, not sure if there was contact between Relativity and R. Manson, but R. Manson definitely losing out quite a lot, down to P20 now. Up ahead, we do have PO2 getting past the Williams of Kelman, and GK1 as well getting past or having gotten passed by MK7 Hitch. So quite a bit of a bundle of cars from MK7 Hitch all the way down to Kelman. Looks like none of them are going to make an attempt for a move. PO2 is actually in a really good position. MK7 Hitch as well with the medium tires. So those on the soft tires are probably going to be having their tires wear out a lot more quicker than those on the mediums. And ooh, looks like T. George going wide, almost losing the car a little bit into Kelman. And looks like he is struggling quite a bit, losing the traction in a few corners there. Kelman is going to be looking to make the move. Is going to get that flap open, and can he make the move before the corner? Looks like he is closing in quite a bit, and looks like he's not. Is going to stay right behind them. Quite a bit of smoke. Kelma's probably gonna get bronchitis from all that smoke. My God. But Kelman looking to make a move on the inside of MK7 Hitch. And is he able to stick it? Oh, a little bit of bumping between the two drivers. But GK1 is going to stay ahead. Mini Tony now picking up a 3-second penalty. And a few position changes as well over here. Relativity and Ricky Stanicki having a little bit of a battle. Both going side by side into the corner, and that is the yellow flags. I believe that is Nando Lizard. Again, not sure if there was contact between any drivers. Looks like Relativity is going to get the upper hand, staying ahead of Ricky Stanicki. So again, Ricky Stanicki does have that 3-second penalty. He has Social and Chernobyl on the back of him. That's Relativity onto the gravel. As I was looking at the back of, of Ricky Stanicki's rear, my goodness. And a few changes happening up as well. T. George getting past PO2. And GK1, looks like he thought about making the move on MK7 Hitch. So these two are just going to be going, switching around lap after lap. Again, GK1 is on the soft compound, so Hitch it does have a bit of the upper hand in terms of tire advantage. Oh, that is the Aston Martin of T. George, almost losing the car, actually catching it really well. So unfortunately losing quite a few positions, but still staying within actually the DRS of the cars in front. And it looks like Andy is making the move on Escargo. Does go on the inside. So Escargo and Andy, a little bit of a switch around as well. Andy now into P10. And looks like we actually have Kemma on the back of Frozen, who is actually over a second ahead of Kemma, and Frozen going a little bit wide on that corner. Kemma is going to have the DRS. Frozen using a little bit of battery to try defending, and looks like Kemma isn't going to be able to make the move. We have GK1 going on the inside of MK7 Hitch. MK7 Hitch defending on the outside and doing well to stay right ahead. And that is yellow flags. I believe that is Nando Lizard as again. And Kelvin actually looks like he had a little bit of a mishap right there, over a second now, a second and a half behind of T. George, but still getting past Mamu. So quite a lot of action happening. Oh, Kelvin having a little bit of a snap right there. Yeah, a lot of action happening at the same time. Nice to see good battles here. We have Kemma now getting past Frozen, who he did say he didn't get a lot of practice, as I mentioned before in qualifying. He didn't get a lot of practice into this track, so he may be struggling now. He is going to get the DRS on this upcoming straight, so is he able to close in and make a move? Looks like he's not. Oh, going super close to the back of Gemma there. It looks like GK1 is going to stay on the back of Hitch. We do have the Yuppie looking to make the move on Andy. It does get that flap open. Andy trying to defend on the outside. Looks like he isn't able to do it. And 50 thought about making the move right there. So up ahead, Frozen is going to get the DRS off of Kemma. So Frozen regaining that position of leader of the race. We do have Mamu on the back of T George as well. So both of them actually on equal battery. And looks like Mamu is going to get that easy pass. And 50 now up to P9, getting past the Yuppie and Andy as well. So Andy is kind of in a limbo between P10 and P11 at the moment. And GK1 actually doing really well despite being on the soft tires, staying right behind MK7 Hitch. And I know it said it looked like it was going to be dry to wet, but it looks like the clouds moved and it is dry. It is sunny on this track at the moment. And looks like Frozen is actually going to be the first one to pull the trigger, now pitting and removing those tires. GK1 closing in on the back of MK7 Hitch. Hitch going a little bit wide on that track right there. And so it looks like Frozen is going to come out right behind of Andy. So these three, he's gonna have a little bit of traffic because these three have been battling it out throughout the laps. GK1 still hunting Hitch at the moment. So GK1 is going to have the DRS on this next upcoming straight. Oh, a little bit of a correction on the car. I wonder when he's going to actually pit or go for an undercut. And PO2 in the back enjoying the view. And Mahmoud's going to pit and actually picks up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that is unfortunate. Absolutely gutting for Mahmoud, who's been in the pack. Oh, GK1, a very harsh snap right there. Is going to go for the attack and is going on the inside. Looks like Hitch is going to stay ahead. GK1 unable to make the move there. And all this battling is actually helping PO2 stay close right behind them as well. It looks like Frozen is closing in quite a bit on the Yuppie and is probably going to make the pass already, going on the outside and on the inside now for the next upcoming corner. Gets that pass done nice and easily. So he does also have, actually all the drivers ahead of him are on old tires. PO2 looking to make a move on GK1. He was closing in quite a bit and looks like he's not. Like I said, GK1 is doing a great job keeping those soft tires alive at the moment. That is yellow flags, and I believe that is Mini Tony on the grass, unfortunately. And Frozen actually closing in on the back of 50. So of course Frozen with the fresher tires. Oh, a bit of contact right there from 50. 50 not looking like he wasn't aware that there was a car right next to him. Needing to check his mirrors a little bit right there. But MK7 Hitch now picking up a 3-second penalty. And that is going to hurt him in the battle between him and GK1 if this stays the same. And that is relativity. No, it looks like that's R. Manson off track, and I think that was just him. Not sure if there's contact between him and another driver, but R. Manson definitely losing out quite a bit there. And so it looks like GK1 is going to pit now, removing those softs and opting for the mediums. So a few drivers actually doing the same move as well. And Frozen now back up to P4. And now it's Scargo picking up a 3-second penalty. So we'll take a look at the penalties. That is, oh, it looks like that is a Scargo having a mistake right there, dropping down to P10 at the moment. And Joe Beef leaving the session. So let me see if I can get him back in. It's the Australian servers. I know it's a bit of a trouble. But regarding the penalty, so MK7H, Escargo, Social, and Mini Tony with 3 seconds. Both Mamu and Ricky Stanicki with 10 seconds. And oh, looks like we do have Kema going into the pits now. Andy now on the back of the Yuppies. And looks like the Yuppie's actually going to go into the pits, getting rid of those soft tires. Andy up to P6 now. A bit of position changes over here as well. Ricky Stanicki dropping down 2 positions there from Chernobyl and T. George. Looks like he is going to go into the pits. Ooh, does have to make sure he breaks enough, and he does. So T. George making the move on Chernobyl back up to P9. Chernobyl on the 14-lap-old mediums. T. George with the fresher tires here. And up ahead, we do have PO2 on the back of MK7 Hitch, less than a second. So PO2, like I said before, doing a phenomenal job to really show that that we should miss him, because he's a great driver. We do miss him. In fact, hopefully F125 is good enough for him to come back and race with us full time. Hopefully he's listening. But they do have the lapped car of Nando Lizard staying right behind them. It looks like Andy is going to go into the pits, and we'll see where he comes out afterwards. But PO2 closing in on the back of MK7 Hitcher, still staying right behind them. And so it looks like Andy is going to come out in P13. He does have quite a few drivers who have still yet to pit in front of him. So we have a few battles over here. We do have, as I mentioned before, PO2 on the back of MK7 Hitch, Kema on the back of 50. So Kema is actually on the fresher tires, 1-lap-old mediums, 50 on 15-lap-old mediums. So not really much he can do to defend. It is a little bit slow on those corners, but Kema is going to get the DRS on this upcoming straight. So is Kema going to look to make the move? Looks like he is. So Kema now up to P4. PO2 still using Still using MK7 hitch to kind of drag him in front with the DRS. And looks like Kelman is actually going to get the overtake done on the Yuppie on that straight. And so interesting enough, Kelman and the Yuppie and Andy was quite of a battle between those three, and now Andy's over 4 seconds behind those two. So just a matter of when those hard compounds are going to start kicking in for him to start closing that gap. Oh, I believe that is the Aston Martin of Mini Tony getting out of the way for the leaders. So like I mentioned before, great awareness from the majority of the drivers here. Oh, looks like that is Joe Beef closing in on Social. Social, a little bit of a mishap right there. Joe Beef is going to get the DRS off of Social at the moment, and he is going to get that flap open. Gets the overtake done nice and easily. So both of them actually staying out. Joe Beef with 17 lap old hard compound. Social with this 17 lap old mediums, and looks like he is struggling a little bit with those tires. And up ahead, Kelman right on the back of the Yuppie. Oh, getting very close to the rear of Yuppie's car. Frozen now picking up the fastest lap of 118.7. So it is an interesting battle between PO2 and Hitch and Kelman and the Yuppie. So two pairs of battles right here. Frozen has gained quite a lot of time though behind of PO2 and Hitch, so he might have quite a bit of a gap once they come out of the pits. But Kelman is going to get the flap open, and looks like he is going to look to make the overtake on the Yuppie. And Frozen, who was 8 seconds behind the front two, now less than 8 seconds now, 7 seconds behind them. And looks like PO2 losing a bit of time right there and is out of the DRS of Hitch. It looks like he's going to be the first one to pull the trigger and go for get those tires changed. So again, Hitch has a 3-second penalty, and Frozen getting out ahead of PO2. We will take a look at how that gap is when PO2 exits out. And Mini Tony now picking up a 3-second penalty. Looks like PO2 is going to get out of the pits in P6 at the moment. So he is ahead of his teammate by 3 seconds, who has a 10-second penalty, and T. George staying within those 10 seconds, so he can look into a P7 if he stays like this. Oh, T. George now picking up a 3-second penalty. Mamu actually staying out. Both Mamu and 50 staying out with those tires. And that is I believe that is the Red Bull Social having a little bit of a mistake right there. Closest battle we have at the moment is Kelman on the back of the Yuppie, and 50 actually choosing to pit now. 20 laps on those mediums. I mean, my goodness. So does opt for the softs. Hitch is probably going to do the same strategy as well. Kelman is going to get the DRS on the Yuppie, and looks like he is going to get that move done easily. And looks like Yuppie might be looking to get the position back. He is actually quite far back, so it looks like he's not going to be able to get that position. Frozen now closing in quite a bit on the back of actually that is why that is why Hitch is now pitting. I was about to say. So Kema only 4 seconds behind Frozen on the fresher tires, 4 lap older tires, or sorry, younger tires. And still a battle between Kelman and the Yuppie. So these two are just going back and forth. The Yuppie now looks like he's going to get the overtake done on Kelman. So this doesn't exactly help Andy, as that is just going to pull them away. So 11 laps remaining, including this one. And it has been quite a bit of an interesting race, I will say. Not surprised there hasn't been any safety cars. We haven't seen any safety cars in this track throughout the week, the race week. Quite a lot of space to run off to, the gravel, the grass. So yeah, honestly, not surprised that there isn't any safety car. Oh, Kelman having a little bit of a snap right there does really well to save the car, and still staying on the back of the Yuppie. And looks like that mistake may have cost him a little bit of time from Andy, or Andy's tires are starting to kick in. He has actually gained quite a bit of time on them. Was over 4 seconds behind them, now less. It looks like Kelman is going to regain the position off of the Yuppie, coming back up to P9. And now Relativity picking up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Oh, Kelman going a little bit wide. Doesn't look like the Yuppie's going to try making a move yet. Up ahead, we do have PO2 on the back of GK1. So we'll take a look at that delta as it keeps on closing. And that is yellow flags. Not exactly sure what happened there. That is Nando Lizard retiring on the track, which is a big no-no. Especially when all the cars are driving right behind him. My God. So we'll be addressing that later. But GK1 on the back of PO2. 50 now picking up the fastest lap of 118.6, and it is 50 getting past T. George. And Kelman in the Yuppie still doing a little bit of a switch around. So we'll take a look at the penalties again. So MK7 Hitch 3 seconds, Mahmoud 10 seconds, and possibly going to lose that position from 50, who is closing in quite a bit. T George with 3 seconds has a comfortable gap of over 13 seconds ahead of Kelman, so it doesn't look like that penalty is going to affect him much. Iskargo with 3 seconds, still also a gap with of over 9 seconds ahead of Chernobyl, so it doesn't look like that is going to affect him either. Relativity with 3 seconds, who has both Armanton and Ricky Staynicki right behind him. And Hitch picking up fast lap on 118.3. So Relativity may be losing 2 positions here if it stays like this. Social, Mini Tony also with penalties, but looks like that is not going to affect them either. And that is yellow flags. I believe that is the Mercedes of possibly Ricky Staynicki in Sector 2. So Hitch does have the younger tires, 3-lap-old softs on the back of GK1, who has those 11-lap-old mediums. So Hitch is going to be looking to make a move soon and possibly try going for a move on PO2 as well, who is also on the soft compounds. Who Hitch can have a really good exit on this corner. GK1 going a little bit wide right there. Hitch having a little bit more battery to attack than GK1 has to defend, and looks like Hitch is going to get the move done up to P4 at the moment. And between PO2 and Hitch, Hitch is with 2-lap-old younger tires than PO2. And that is, I don't know who the other Haas is, or the other Red Bull actually, Social. So a little bit of contact between PO2 and Hitch. So a lot of stuff happening. Social needing to get out of the way for the other drivers there. Not exactly sure as I was looking behind. But GK1 and Hitch getting ahead of Social, the lapped car. And we also have still Kelman on the back of the uppie, both a little bit back and forth, these two. And oh my god, I am looking at Nando Lizard's his clip. No way, looks like there's a bump on the main straight. I'll take a look at that afterwards, but that looks like the Spain glitch. My god. Oh my gosh. This game, honestly, I honestly think that the game is just releasing all the glitches in the last couple weeks of before the new game releases. But returning back into the game, Kelman making the move on the uppie. So easy pass, but both of them just going back and forth. Andy actually closing in was 4 seconds ahead, or sorry, behind them, and now has eaten up 2 seconds, closing quite a bit on them. So still a few laps remaining, so you never know if those medium tires are going to start wearing out and if they'll be struggling. A little bit of a battle between Joe Beef and Escargo. Looks like Joe Beef is going to get the advantage, but Escargo is going to get the DRS, but doesn't look like it'll be enough to make a move on Joe Beef. And that is yellow flags. Looks like that is the Alpine of Escargo. So it does look like those mediums are kicking in are going to be a bit of a struggle. Andy now up to P11. And we have Yuppie making the move again on Kelman. A little bit close from Kelman there on the rear of the Yuppie. Kelman with the snap, doing really well to catch the car. Even with the DRS, Andy doing really well to close in, and GK1 picking up a 3-second penalty, so that is going to hurt him. And so Hitch can try securing a P3 position here. And literally what I was thinking, I didn't want to jinx GK1. He is known for picking up quite a bit of penalties, track limit penalties. Did really well, 29 laps, 28 laps, without picking up a penalty. But yeah, very unfortunate for him, and hopefully he can try keeping his P4 or try aiming for that P3. But we did have 50 making the move on Mamu, who has a 10-second penalty. And quite a few moves happening at the same time. Kelman switching around again with the Yuppie. Looks like Armanson getting past Escargo. And looks like Escargo getting past Armanson, so a little bit of a switch around with these two as well. And now, oh no! So Hitch now picking up another 3 seconds, so that is going to hurt unless the GK1 has dropped back quite a bit. Has dropped back 3 seconds, so that he is going to try to have to push and close that gap. So we'll take a look at the tires. GK1, I mean, it's it's hard to ask, but yes, 16 lap old mediums, and looks like looking from that snap, it is a bit of a struggle. MK7 Hitch with 8 lap old soft tires. And looks like in the back, Kelman closing in on the Yuppie. Almost running into the rear of him, but doing really well to brake and avoid contact. Has done well to save up quite a bit of battery. Doesn't look like he's able to make a move yet. Really phenomenal driving from these guys to brake appropriately and on this track with no race line, no ABS, no assist whatsoever. And oh no, Kelvin losing the car there and now dropping down position. So he does have quite a bit of a comfortable gap from P12, but really gutting for him. Yeah, very gutting for him. Has lost out quite a lot. He had a really good battle going on with the Yuppie. So very unfortunate to see that. I know that is the kick Sauber of relativity onto the wall, and oh no, that is relativity. I think that was who was that? Was that GK1? Oh my goodness, it was GK1. Relativity having gotten lapped, and I think I don't know. Yeah, I think he just lost the car into GK1, who was going around on the right. And oh man, that is very unfortunate for him, who has PO2 right behind him. So there are two. Oh, what the? What is this? goodness, no. Oh my gosh, I have no words. I don't know what the heck that was. What the heck? I'm speechless. Oh my god. I. Who did it hit? I'm at a loss for words. We'll look at that afterwards. Oh man, J Dog's gonna have a crack at that, but this game, like I said, these glitches are just ridiculous. Oh man. Okay, okay. So we do have Chernobyl on the back of our Manson. Our Manson is going to try defending, does have the DRS, and I don't know exactly know who the car ahead of him is. That is the Alpine of MK7 Hitch, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. So, drivers behind are going to have to just wait right behind them, and yeah, very tough position. And looks like Chernobyl is going to get, or did try looking for the overtake. And I am so speechless from that. Oh man, that is just yeah. But ooh, and they looking to make the overtake on the Yuppie. Does have doesn't have a lot of battery to use, but looks like it is enough to get the overtake done on the Yuppie before the corner. So last lap, and we do have Frozen crossing the line. I was so distracted by what I just saw. My God, Frozen going for the win. PO2 looks like it is. He isn't going to get the podium that would have been nice to have on his first race back. But I mean, phenomenal race by PO2 of P4. But well, we do have a battle between the Andy and the Yuppie. Andy still trying to get that P9. But oh, Mamu does have this that unserved 10-second penalty, and looks like T George isn't going to have the gap to get that position back. Still a battle between Andy and the Yuppie at the moment. Andy's going to have a really good exit, but the Yuppie does have quite a bit of battery to defend. And looks like the Yuppie is going to stay ahead into P9. Andy staying in P10. And Kelman about to cross the line as well. And my I cannot get over the fact what I just saw. But yeah, I'll have to clip that. Um our Manson picking up the driver of the day. I'll have to take a look at how many positions he was able to climb up. But big congratulations to Frozen taking the win today. Two Canadians on on the podium, one American. So Frozen in P1 taking the win today. Big congratulations, as I said. Kema in P2 and MK7H in P3 picking up another 2 points for fastest lap, a 118.3. In P4 we have PO2. Big welcome back and congratulations for finishing top 5. It is nice to have you back, PO2, and hopefully we'll see you again if you want. But in P5 we have 50, followed by GK1, Mamu, T George, the Yuppie, Andy, Kelman, Joe Beef, who I don't think was actually able to join back into the session, but I will definitely take a look at that afterwards. In P13, R. Manson, followed by Chernobyl, Escargo, Social, Ricky Stanicki, Mini Tony, Relativity, and our only DNF, Nando Lizard, who had a bit of the same glitch I just saw, which I will have to just clip for these boys because that was flabbergasted. But yep, so this is our second to last race. Next week will be our final race of the season. Uh, has been a great season, so we are looking forward to seeing them race in Silverstone. Everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe. Uh, Stay tuned for our Saturday Tier 1 group racing at 3:30 Eastern. I think that's 20:30 military time for our Europeans. But yeah, everybody have a great night, great morning, great evening, wherever you guys are watching from, and we'll catch you guys later.